everyone, and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we're taking a look at Leader Class Evolution Optimal Optimus from Transformers Power of the Primes. This guy is the third and final Prime to get the Evolution Leader Class treatment. As you can see, he is packed in robot mode. We have a picture of the ape mode right here on the side. Over here you have a nice picture of Optimus Primal. Not really too much going on this side, or the bottom, or the top. Spin them around. Nice colorful on the back here. Bio says, as the Prime Wars reach their peak, Optimus Primal is the one chosen to bear the matrix of leadership. He becomes Optimal Optimus and leads the universe into a triumphant new era. Depending on which canon you follow, not exactly how it happened in Beast Wars, but I guess similar enough. Optimus Primal took the matrix into his body, turned into Optimal Optimus, then put it back in Optimus Prime. If you haven't seen Beast Wars, watch it. It's fantastic. But very cool. I really like this. I think this is a really fun mold. Optimus Primal, Optimal Optimus. You have the transformation into the monkey mode with the flying skateboard. Shows off some of the Prime Masters over here. So I'm excited to finally get a hold of this guy. It's been a bit of a struggle for me if you know the story, but definitely excited to finally get this guy. So let's open him up and we can get into it. Here is Optimal Optimus out of the packaging. Real quick, we'll take a look at the little card that he comes with. Pretty much the same box art from the front of the packaging. Optimal Prima, a warrior who is completely incorruptible and pure of spark. That sounds about right. So nice, firm cardboard, nice collectible card. Put that off to the side. Optimal Optimus, looking fantastic. Color scheme from the show. Only thing that bothers me, you can see that his eyes are red. On the show, his eyes were green, and I really wish they were green here. Red kind of makes him look a little evil, to be honest. So I feel like that was kind of a weird choice. But the face sculpt definitely looks good. So minor complaint there. Also, you can see this part is gray, where I feel like it should be the same color of this like orangish tan here, so that it fits in a little bit better. Again, minor complaint, but... So zoom him back out. Yeah, he looks good. He's got the whole pretty much Optimus Primal hanging off the back. But articulation-wise, head can go from side to side. It can kind of move a little bit, but that's because the transformation is really just side to side. Shoulder has this movement all the way around. Plus it has kind of a swivel because there's kind of like extra joints in here in the shoulder. Can move around this way, can go out like this. You have elbow 90 degree. You have a swivel there right above the elbow. Wrist can move around. Thumb moves in and out, up and down rather. And then the whole set of fingers opens up and closes. Waist can swivel. You have out to the side, front to back with the hips. You do have a thigh swivel. You have pretty much 90 degrees in the knee. Actually, I would say a little bit over. And you'll see that there's some extra movement in the knee later on where you kind of collapse the thigh for the monkey mode. And then you have a tilt in the ankle as well as movement there. So he's got a really nice amount of articulation. He looks really good in my opinion. For comparison, here is the San Diego Comic-Con Throne of the Primes version. You can see the differences in the color scheme. You can see that this guy's got a pretty much overall Optimus Primal color scheme going on, so this totally matches. If we take a look at the back, you can see that these pieces are almost identical. I think the heads are going to be a little different, but otherwise pretty much exactly the same. And then obviously he just doesn't have the crown over here. But pretty cool. So I was really excited to get the kind of cartoon accurate color scheme. While the Throne of the Primes one is definitely awesome and comes with some great accessories, the color scheme for this one was just always so fun to me. I just thought the maroon, the navy blue, and the orange just really worked well together. You can see he's got these two guns here on the side of his legs, which you can go ahead and unpeg and you can peg them together if you would like to make one large gun, which I believe he can hold in this mode. Yeah, you kind of see the hole there in his thumb. You kind of turn his thumb sideways like that and plug it in there. I swear it works. It's not happening. Come on. There we go. So it's a little weird, I'll admit. You know, it looks a little awkward, but I guess it's not too terrible. So that is possible. He can hold the gun like that. But overall, I really like this robot mode. And I absolutely love the color scheme, and I think he's got a ton of articulation. Oh, I almost forgot to show off his matrix. So this little cavity opens up, his matrix pops right out. I like the color scheme for this. Kind of the gunmetal gray with the navy blue. You can pop this out and put in any other Prime Master or Titan Master if you like. It just pops right back in here. And then push this back on there and close that up. So yeah, very, very cool. Let's go ahead and get into the first transformation with the monkey form. So first thing you're going to do, rotate the head around 180 degrees and then just kind of push it down into the chest. It'll lie flat like that. Lift this section up. You can lift this section up and this entire piece will pop off. And then just kind of set that there to the side. So take this and you're going to want to collapse this down until it sits flush. Like that. Same with this. Bring this down and then these two giant flat pegs will peg into the sides here. And this is the Optimus Primal component kind of turned into the flying skateboard. So put that off to the side for a moment and come back over here. We're going to spin him at the waist 180 degrees. Turn him around. You're going to rotate the monkey head while it's still inside the body. And then pop it out. And I think the monkey head is painted perfectly because in the show, the monkey head did have red eyes. It's kind of hard to get in there because they're kind of really recessed, but I swear they're painted red. It's kind of really sunken back into the head, and also it's really dark blue all around it, so it's really hard to see, but I swear they are painted red. There you go. You can kind of, maybe there. It's really difficult. They're really sunk far back. It's kind of crazy. Maybe if I have them in a little light. Let me see. And now I can't find it, of course. Here it is. There you go. You can see the eyes are painted red, but they're really sunken in. But I do feel like the monkey eyes were red in the show, so that is accurate. But his robot eyes were green. So at this point, you can move the arms around however you like. If you want to keep them like this, you can. If you want to give them the articulation, you can. Then you just kind of have to spin the fists around. If you want to leave them like this, if you want to put them like this, again, it's completely up to you. I like to kind of put them down like this and then flip the thumb over. So what you're going to do is you're going to come around to the back, lift up these wings, and then you're going to bring these down so like the shins will kind of disconnect. And sometimes it's a little scary, but then you'll sink this inside like that. So it'll unclip, then come down, kind of click into place again, and then you just kind of have to leave the wings straight out. But you can see this is the monkey form, much shorter, but he looks cool. And if you want to position the wings, oh man, it's a really big plastic tag. There we go. You can kind of put the wings down a little bit. I think on the show he used to keep them down like that. Again, it's whatever your preference. If you want to leave them down, if you want to keep them up, you want to put them straight back. whatever you'd like to do. But that is the monkey form. What you can do is take this, and his feet, you can see he's got these rectangular peg holes. They will peg onto these sections here. So you peg this in here and here. And then the other one pegs onto these two right here. So right there and there. And I apologize that this is not cooperating fully. Optimus, come on, buddy. I swear you can do it. There we go. Kinda, maybe. There we go. Okay. So that took a little doing, but you can get it done. So now he is connected. He is flying around on his Optimus Primal surfboard, getting ready to race Marty McFly in the year 2015. Which looks cool. I think it looks neat. I appreciate that they gave him the little skateboard. I mean, really, this is a reference to his first Transmetal form, where the monkey had that weird surfboard he could do with his legs. So in my mind, it's kind of a reference to that, even though they're not referencing that form, because this is first form and third form, and that was the second form. But at least there's some kind of representation of all his forms in this toy. So I think that's pretty cool. Definitely very open back here, but we can actually take care of that with a different mode that we'll do right now. Alright, so going ahead and taking him off the skateboard, all you're going to do is take this front section and bring it down. And you can see that there are two pegs right here, which will peg into these two peg holes right here. And you just have to be careful because for whatever reason the matrix likes to pop out. Oh, I see why. It's because the little nubbin on the end of the matrix. That's okay. We can get that to work. I mean, you can even take the matrix out if you want, but I'll put it in upside down. It fits a little better. Then you turn the monkey around, and you can see that there are kind of rectangular pegs built into the side. They're going to slide into these two channels right here and here. So just slide this whole section in here, which I will admit is a little easier said than done. You probably want to move these wings out of the way. What I actually might do is I might unpeg it temporarily. Easier to do it on its own. Okay, so that's pegged in, and then you bring this up. Oh, you know what I have to do? I have to move the back legs a little forward. Bring this back down. Peg that in. Bring the head up. And so this will really just kind of hang off the back there, but what you do is you take those guns from earlier and you go ahead and you peg those into the top here. There are peg holes very easily right there. And then, does this peg in? I guess it does peg in down here as well. You can see that there's a peg spot and a peg, and then a peg spot and a peg down here. So that'll peg into his butt pretty securely. And then you can put these wings back out. So he does kind of have to bend forward. I guess you could like tilt these out a little bit if you wanted to, just like that. There you go. And so that gives him that kind of classic monkey with the guns on the back look that he did have in the show sometimes. I think the original toy could do that as well. So you can either have the monkey riding the surfboard, or you can have the monkey with the gun backpack. It does look a little silly just because it's so long, but it can be done, which I think is pretty fun. And I think it looks pretty good. I like the look of the guns off the back like that. I think that's pretty cool. Alright, so next up we will transform Optimus Primal. Alright, so dealing with just the surfboard piece, which is what's going to become Optimus Primal. You start off with the feet, and you just kind of pull them away from the side, and you'll bring them completely down. Then you will rotate them out at the thigh. You can see that that's already the legs for Optimus Primal. Let me zoom out a little bit here. This whole section will unpeg and just kind of hang on the back here. You can see that there's a peg on the back, and that goes into this peg hole back here. So he does have quite a bit of a backpack. You'll lift up these shoulder pieces, and then these are the arms. So you can see we're pretty much done. You're going to open up the chest, flip out the head, and then close it up. So here is Optimus Primal. He's got a head swivel, shoulders front to back, a little bit out to the side there. No bicep swivel, but he does have a ball joint in the elbow. Nothing in the waist, I don't think, because of how this pegs in everywhere. Yeah, but he does have ball joint in the hip, thigh swivel, and then pretty much 90 degrees in the knee because of the transformation. Paint applications look good. Taking a close-up look at his head sculpt, I think they pretty much nailed it. Just about as show accurate as you can get. Pretty perfect. So I think it's fun. It's definitely a tiny little version, and he doesn't have a gorilla mode of his own. He just has a surfboard mode, but I think it works. You can use those guns from earlier. He can either hold them as a gun, or he can wield them like melee weapons. Or he can fall over. There you go. So I think it's cool. I think for melee weapons they work because they're like the perfect size for melee weapons for him. So I think that's kind of neat. Does have kind of a giant backpack, but still has the Matrix, which is cool. And he has the head of the larger version just staring into his back. But I think it works. I think it's fun. And I think they nailed the paint job. And the head sculpt is absolutely fantastic. So here are the two next to each other for a bit of a size comparison. And this is one of the few evolution figures where you can actually kind of have both modes in a kind of robot mode at the same time. And I say that because with, say, Optimus or Rodimus, when you have the smaller guy in robot mode, it's just like a trailer piece. But with this guy, it's actually a monkey. So you could have like the two parts interact with each other. So I think that's kind of cool. Now, I don't know how that would work as far as, like, does this have its own AI? Does he kind of control it mentally? That's your own head fiction. But I think it's kind of neat that you can have the monkey and the robot mode at the same time here. But there is one more thing we can do. Go ahead and transform this guy back into his surfboard mode. Back like this. And you can see the big tab here on the inside of the fist is going to peg into this slot on his hip. So you're just going to have to make sure that's lined up. And you'll do that for both of these. And then I'm going to unhook this part. And then fold these up. And this tab will fold into this little peg hole right there. So when you bring these up, that will peg in. That will peg in, and then you will peg these tabs back into here. And then this pegs back in. Okay, so we're back into the surfboard mode. Take the monkey. Put the head down, rotate the head back in, down like that. You're going to just kind of put, the legs don't officially sandwich together, but you can kind of tilt these legs back like this. Leave these fins up. Take the arm. Put the wings out to the side. Rotate this. And really, again, you can do whatever you like. If you like to have this part facing up, if you want to have it off to the side, it really doesn't matter. It's not going to affect the transformation at all. I'm going to just put it out to the side. So you have this like this, then you take this, and you, let me remember how this connects. You connect this, I think this connects back here. Yeah, these connect I guess I have to move these fins out to the side. You can see, and it's kind of funny how this works, but so there's a peg here and then a peg slot there, peg slot there, peg there, but then there's also these tiny little peg slots on the back of the feet, and these are supposed to be able to peg into them, these little rectangles right here where my thumb is. So I usually feel like this connects on better right here, but then you can kind of get these to go into the peg on the foot, but I wouldn't knock yourself out. Like, if you can get it to line up, great. It'll stay without it, but then you can take this section and drop this down. Now, I think, does this connect in some way? I'm trying to remember. Sorry, this is kind of locking in place here. Yeah, I think you just kind of have it down like this, and then you can take the guns and pop them in like that. I still feel like that's not right, but and then you can make the jet mode. He doesn't have the car mode. I'm going to consult the directions real quick because I feel like the front of that canopy is not correct. No, it does just kind of hang there. Okay. You do just kind of lock it in place. Okay, now it's going to completely come off on me. Fine. Fine. Be that way. Is it like... Hold on a second. I apologize for the... I have to consult this real quick. Okay, yeah, I guess I have that right. And then let me clip this back on. There we go. And like I said, if you can get this to peg into the feet, awesome. Mine never really wants to peg in. Not really sure why. But anyway, here is the jet mode, which was featured in the show. I think it looks pretty good. Can fly around. He doesn't have a tank mode or a car mode, whatever you want to call that other mode, but I think it's pretty cool that you have the robot, you have the jet, and you have the monkey. So 3 out of 4 is pretty good. I think this guy's absolutely fantastic. Definitely a lot of fun. Love the color scheme. Very faithful to the original show. Like I said, if I had tiny nitpicks, it would be that I wish his eyes were green instead of red. But fantastic robot mode, great articulation. I love the little Optimus Primal mode. I love the surfboard mode when the monkey can ride the surfboard. I like the monkey with the backpack with the guns out the back. The jet mode's pretty good as well. I understand they couldn't get the car/tank mode to work, but like I said, 3 out of 4 is not bad. Matrix looks good. Like that it can be housed in there. A couple things I did forget to show that I wanted to show off real quick before we conclude the review here. If I remove the guns from the side, you can actually bring this front section down like this, which I know is something he did in the show, and put these guns here just like he did in the show, so that's really cool. Putting this back up, you can also mount the guns on the back here. I forget how this works, but I know they can, here we go, like this. I know this can be done. There we go. They peg into these spots on the sides of the head. So you can also set them up there if you want them to be a little bit more flush with the chest. And these pieces on the forearms on the show would pop off and they would flatten out to become shields. They can't flatten out, but you can peg them up here, which is something else he would do in the show from time to time. So you can do that as well if you like that look a little bit better. So I would have to say that most of the capabilities of the original toy / the model on the show really came through. And I think they did a really nice job with that. So if you're a fan of Optimal Optimus from Beast Wars, I definitely recommend picking this guy up, especially if you didn't have an opportunity to pick up the original toy. I think there's a lot of fun to be had here with this guy. If you have the Power or the Throne of the Primes, that's what it is. If you have the Throne of the Prime version, I would even still recommend picking this one up just because these accurate show colors and just looks absolutely fantastic. So I love both versions. If I had to choose between the two, I mean, at this point, I normally would say that because this is normal retail, he's more readily available. But I think at this point, you might have an easier time picking up the Japanese version of the Throne of the Primes because that's normal retail in Japan. This guy has been really hard to find on U.S. shelves, and I think it's because he's at the very end of Power of the Primes and they're already transitioning into Siege. So a lot of times when a line is ending, the last couple figures get scarce because stores are either stuck with old stock or aren't ordering new stock because they're getting ready for the new line. So stuff like this kind of gets lost. I got mine on Hasbro Toy Shop. I believe as of this morning, when I'm recording this review, he was out of stock, but they might get more in, so keep an eye on that. He was also on Amazon for a time, or you could still check your local stores. All mine, unfortunately, are stuck with Rodimus Unicronus. I kind of wish he was Wave 3 and this guy was Wave 2, but what are you going to do? In any case, if you can get a hold of this guy for close to retail price, I definitely recommend picking him up. If he starts getting astronomical in value or in price, you might want to consider just getting the Throne of the Primes version from Japan, because I think Japanese retailers will have that because I believe it's a normal retail release over there. So definitely try to find some version of this mold, though, because it's definitely worth checking out. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, thank you so much for watching.